welcome to the Thickness Podcast. All right, folks, hello and welcome back to the Thickness Podcast. Road to Mera Peak, episode number 2. Fitting that it's 2 weeks since I've come back and haven't updated any of yous on the happenings that happened out there. I know in the last episode I said I was going to try and attempt to do a kind of daily episode from out there and just post it willy-nilly. That didn't happen. Just wasn't physically possible for a number of reasons to do with the likes of Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi connection was a struggle. There was only Wi-Fi in a few of the tea houses, and even at that there, it wasn't great. So uploading anything was going to be a struggle, to say the least. And the other reason, the real reason, was I was shattered. I was shattered come the evening. Once we got dinner and we sat and we chatted shit for a while, I was goose, man. I was in bed most evenings, 8, half 8. A few evenings I sat up later to ring home, speak to Amanda and the kids, but most evenings I was in my bed, man. I was so tired. It was hectic. It was one of the best things I've ever done. The experience, I've been struggling to put into words. I kept a daily diary just to remind myself what happened, because I have a head like a sieve. And I know I would have missed details, things that had happened, things that people had said, things that hit home, things that I was thinking about and dwelling on when I was away. But yeah, there's the rain. There's the rain. On the topic of rain, we had quite possibly the worst weather. We did have the worst weather that Nepal had got in 20 years' time, apparently. Yeah, absolutely bucketed down. And I mean bucketed down. We were soaked for the first 4.5, 5 days. Absolutely drenched. I mean, there was one stage Brian clearly said to me, he's like, we could have fucking stayed at home for this weather. Now, just while I have this in my head, this is going to be a short episode. I'm not going to give you the full breakdown of it. There's just too much to go through. So my plan is to do it in stages. Do it in episodes. So we'll do probably like a breakdown of 2-3 days per episode. I'm also hoping to pull in a few of the guys from the trek for a wee interview, if they're willing, free and able. It was a great crew. It was an absolutely great crew. Everybody was we gelled fairly quickly. We just got on with it, and there was good crack. There was good crack on the trek. The first couple of days, I'll give a broad painter's brush stroke over the whole trip. The first few days was when we landed in. Well, I landed in Kathmandu. Me and Liz landed in Kathmandu I landed in Kathmandu the first evening. We got to the hotel, we met everybody. A couple of people had been there before for a few days. We're well bedded into the area, had found places to eat, drink for afterwards. We landed, we got equipment that people needed to pick up, and we went and we got dinner and we went back. Jason broke news to us that we were leaving at 12:30 that night, on the button of 12:30. We had a 5-hour bus journey to Ramachap Airport. When I say I did not enjoy that, that's an understatement. I was wedged in the middle of Jason and Brian, two fairly big, strong lads, and I had my knees up to my shoulders. 5 hours in the middle of the night. I'm tired already from travelling all day. So that was not the highlight of the trip for me. And what we were on, you wouldn't call roads. Back at home in Ireland, they wouldn't have even been considered farmers flipping lanes. Like, a lot of the roads were washed away. It was shocking. But anyway, look, we got to Ramachap. We had a bit of a wait there. Flew into Lukla. Ed headed off. He was doing the base camp trek on his own, and then we departed. Excuse me. We took off through what can only be described as rainforest. Now, I went out on this trek, and the only thing I had researched was Lukla Airport. I'd heard about it before, and I'd watched loads of videos on it, as I said in the last episode, and showed Max and a whole lot. Everyone else I went on blind, so I didn't know what to expect. And I suppose when I thought of the Himalayas, I was just thinking mountainous range, mountains, rock. Was not expecting Jurassic Park, and that's what we got. Can literally only be described as walking through Jurassic Park. It was unbelievably beautiful. Unbelievably beautiful. Then the rain started, and every waterfall in the area and river filled up. And I mean filled up with crashing water and rolling sounds, and just to be in that place at that time with just the noise, I mean, stayed with me for a long, long time. So yeah, look, we done that. We done the rainforest. We got soaked. Parts of it were tougher than they probably should have been, due to the weather and that there. There was an incident then, which we'll go into at a later stage. And once we started getting to, I can't remember now because I don't have notes wrote down with me today. It was about day 6, I think, day 6 or day 7. We broke ice and we started walking in the snow, and that just for me was, again, I took stock at one stage. I just stopped and looked around me and listened to the sounds under the feet of people walking, and the snow crunching, and the mountains and the rivers. And again, it was powerful. It was so powerful. One day we went and we done our rope training, our Jumars and a bit of belay and stuff like that, and walking on crampons for the first time, which was exciting and interesting. I think I picked up on that there fairly quickly. It didn't seem to faze me, which was great. And then it was like we skipped the hike from the last tea house to base camp because there was no base camp. So it was due to go the tea house and Carry to base camp, stay at base camp to high camp, and then high camp to summit, back down to the tea house. All on separate days, obviously. Excuse me again. So yeah, we skipped base camp and we went straight to high camp, which everybody was really thankful. I think we stopped at base camp, which was non-existent. There was 2 or 3 stone structures that are always there, but Jason was like, this is usually full of tents. There was nothing there. There was like 6-7 foot of snow. On to high camp, tents on the side, just literally tacked to the side of a mountain. if you rolled the wrong way, you were gone. You're just gone out the side of the mountain. God knows where you would have ended up. We were extremely lucky. There was a kitchen that was built into the side of the mountain. Got lovely ramen soup, porridge. Jason let us know that we were summiting the next morning, up again at 12:30. I think we went back to our tents at about 8. Up at 12:30, boots, crampons, getting into the right mindset. A wee bit of the anxiety as always and something like this, but like I was buzzing for it. I couldn't wait to get going. Could not wait to get going. Got roped into our teams of 3, so it was Leslie Ann in front of Brain, and then me and our Sherpas, and Jason was with us, and then it was Aoife and Liz and Caroline. We took off away, and it was a good pace. It was never ending. That first phase just seemed like it was never going to stop. You were just constantly going. Jason had warned us to the false summits, but it just seemed to never end. You could see a ridge once the sun came up. You didn't know if that was your ridge or if it was, We got there, we stopped. And Jason just says, you just need to concentrate here. This is tight, it's a sheer drop the other side. Just concentrate, watch your footing. And then it was that summit push. And once we made it, it was just, there was relief, there was elation, there was so many emotions. I couldn't take a video to send back home. I was nearly in tears. I was trying to take it all in. I was just trying to be there and just burn it into memory. Standing looking across at Everest, standing looking across at Lhotse and Nuptse, and just, going, look at what you've achieved. You're standing at nearly 6,500 metres. So yeah, it was then, there was no sign of the other team, and we were like, oh. And then I seen Liz and Pemba, I think it was, who was her Sherpa, just hitting the ridge. So was delighted to see that, because I know how much it meant to her to summit. So we found out then that the other girls had to turn back earlier on the summit push. Which was a shame for them. So anyway, a few pictures. The wind was hammering us, and I mean hammering us up there. I think Liz got a brief minute to get a couple of pictures, and we were turned. It just wasn't safe to be standing up there. Back down the ridge, I fell towards the end of it anyway. So it was grand, fell on the right side of the ridge too. And then it was horseback down to high camp. We were told we were leaving high camp at 1 o'clock. I think we were there maybe 11 or half 11. Timeline's dodgy at the moment. Fell asleep for 45 minutes or so in the camp, in the tent. Up, packed up, and straight back down the carry. All in one day. It was a long day. It was a great day though. It was fantastic. I powered on in front of the group on the way down. I needed an hour or so of just time to myself, where I could process or start to attempt to process everything. So yeah, I powered on and just was lost in my own thoughts and where we were and what we were doing. Took a few pictures on the way down. So yeah, I mean that was the summit day. Back in the carry the next morning, was helicoptered out. 2 helicopters stuck in Lukla helipad for like 2.5 hours just watching the helicopters come in. And that, again, for me, was another moment where I was like, this is just, it was amazing to see. Helied and then into Kathmandu and just seeing the immense, just seeing the immense sprawl of the city was mind-blowing, really was. So yeah, it was celebrations then for a couple of nights, see a bit of Kathmandu, do a few touristy things, and then home. I am not going to lie when I say it has been an adjustment for me since coming home. I was away for, 16, 17 days. Not an eternity by any sense of the means, but a long time to be away from my kids and my wife. Longest time I've done. That isn't the part that I've been adjusting to. The part I've been adjusting to is the coming from what we've done, coming from the continuous 6-7 hours of hiking through what we hiked, the group dynamic that we had, the people, the conversations, and then just coming back home to normal day-to-day life, coming back to working life, family life, back to training, stuff like that there. It's just, I've been probably dwelling on it more than I should have or should be. But I know a couple of the ones are struggling too. Everybody's back to their normal lives. There's stuff that goes on when you're not doing this mad shit. But that's been an adjustment for me. But I've been lucky. I had a week back to work, and then I had this week kind of off up to today, today is Wednesday. My wife's away on a well-deserved noon break with her friend. So I've had the kids, and it's been absolutely lovely to spend a bit of time with them and just, back playing games and doing daddy stuff. But yeah, Jason had mentioned that there's a fairly big fall off after an expedition, and he wasn't wrong. And I'm dealing with it as well as you can, and as well as you should. Yeah, one of them things. So anyway, look at, we dwell on that. Hopefully it won't be 6 weeks before the next episode. We'll try and get it out a bit quicker than that there. And we will go into a bit more detail on some of the stuff that's been seen and we spoke about, and stuff that we can talk about that we spoke about. And I'll try and get some visuals and some video up in the next couple of episodes as well. So yeah, look, keep you posted, subscribe and like and all that stuff if you want to. If you don't want to, great, who cares? But yeah, thanks for listening, and see you all on the flip side. Cheers.